Ladies and gentlemen, once again, uh, please give your attention to Rescue Poetics.
Thank you. This piece is a little bit about what my heritage is. Being Puerto Rican, and I think the term is white presenting, tends to be a little bit of a conflict within my family because we are the Rainbow Coalition, where we have blonde hair and blue eyes all the way through to every color of the rainbow. So, growing up in Patterson, um, I was raised to believe that if you spoke with an accent or you spoke Spanish, that you're considered a second class citizen. So my parents raised me a little differently than maybe my neighbors or my cousins were raised. Inheritance is an expectation of blood that has long run thin, losing its strength through generation and generation of diluted rebellions until you don't even ask why the pernil is cut before you put it in the mojo, why the pasteles are made the day after Thanksgiving in a marathon of papel and twine, mounds of masa and achote, why the olives are green and fingertips blackened by the labor of love that's lost its meaning long ago. Broken accents of tios y tias into the flat New Jersey Puerto Rican nasal correction from children who are taught that brown skin is a second class punishment, but not taught to love that skin and the pain, sacrifice, laughter, and rhythms that go with it. Passed down from mother and father, meaning lotus flower, with the strength of Egyptian queens, treated as delicate as a lily, a rose whose petals fall in the heat, underestimated and invisible in the weeds of males, the melanin that was once my inheritance, thinned by the blood of savages in the guise of men, yet with thorns. And from the murky depths, there was always hope. The fierce determination to grow beyond the boundaries and limitations of the five letters expected to define me, given to me with the ideals that my heritage will be wiped away, along with the accent that should have rightfully been mine, the whole pernil marinated and cooked slow and long, leaving the lingering of hope of what's to come. It's taken one generation forward to remind two generations back that what's in a made up name is but a sound, passed on through the divinity of ancestors, clamoring to be remembered, in the pale skin stretched over the conga, through the guirro's hollow screeches, and traditions of masa y achote deep into the night, wrapped in hojas de plátano, tied with butcher's twine strong enough to keep the secrets in while the color bleeds out. Thank you.
Ladies, ladies and gentlemen, that is Rescue Poetics. What was the name of that one again?
Sorry about that. That one's called Inheritance.
Inheritance. A lot of powerful piece, a lot of moving pieces there. Um, I'm just going to let you talk a little bit more about that piece. As somebody who is black but not Spanish, I have some definite thoughts on some of the things that you said, and I don't want to be not for real.
Share them,
Okay,
please.
so
This
let's
is
put
a
it out there.
dialogue.
Let's put it out there. When you have
Okay.
uh, Spanish people, Spanish language people, Spanish speaking people who live around predominantly blacks, black Americans, um, we're all family. And
Right.
so nobody from outside the neighborhood is going to pick on nobody,
Right.
including the Spanish speaking people.
Right.
All it takes is a hot day and for a young Spanish boy to say the wrong word, a young Spanish girl to say the wrong word, and all hell breaks loose.
Been there, live that.
So,
So
um,
I grew up in Patterson. Okay,
Okay.
Patterson, New Jersey, on Fair Street, which is one of the worst neighborhoods that you could live in. Burnt out buildings, constant drug use, and this was when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s.
Okay.
Um, so it's changed, but it's not changed. I remember playing, and I wrote a piece about this, playing in the backyard with junk cars, playing like, pretend,
Right.
having German shepherds and dogs chained up in the backyard,
Right.
living with people and never even thinking of treating someone differently because of the color of their skin.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Right. Right.
I grew up knowing that. My parents grew up thinking differently.
Oh yeah, it's always our parents who say the most toxic stuff.
Ain't that something?
Um. Oh, tell me. Uh, you didn't have the experience of playing action hero on and not realizing that the mattresses you were jumping on were pissy as I don't know what.
No, of course we did. Played on those mattresses like they were put there for us. Yep,
Like exactly like they were trampolines.
that's right. That's right. Going home filthy, dirty from the ankles all the way up
Oh man.
when that street light turned on. Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so yeah, and that's what I said. And so if we live in the same neighborhood and you call me black and I call you yellow or whatever, we might go to war. We might actually hate each other. But let somebody from down the block come and try and mess with you. Then no,
That's
we're
right.
not having that.
Nope, that's right. This is us. You don't talk to them that way. I don't care who they are. You don't do it. That's right. That's right.
Okay, wow. Okay, so um, out of deference, because there's so much I don't want to say about that, other than it's a terrific piece. Because I think the job. This is what I can say. I think the job of the poet is to definitely talk about the stuff that makes you and I uncomfortable within our shared experience.
Right.
I mean, okay, I'll give you an example, and please don't cancel me.
You don't have to worry about that because we're here as a dialogue, and as artists and as professionals, we respect each other.
Right,
So I'm going to
right.
listen to what you have to say.
Okay, so I, I know a couple of dark Cubans. I know one dark Cuban who is fine, fine, fine. But in talking to her one on one, she kind of explained to me, yeah, I feel fine, but it's more my black American friends who make me feel fine. When I'm around my Cuban family, there's a pecking order, and sometimes it's based on skin tone.
Not only within families, though. I mean, within the whole Hispanic diaspora,
Okay.
I'm not dark enough to be Afro Latina. I'm not Puerto Rican enough because my hair is the way it is or my skin color is the way it is. And at the other end of that spectrum, family members and friends or uh, extended family treat each other like they're not good enough because of the color of their skin. And that, as a matter of fact, my son and I were having that discussion today, um, where it's become such a societal norm to have this ideal that white is the premier thing to be, that and that's such a
It's
falsehood.
worth
That's such
more.
a lie. I'm sorry.
The perception is that it's worth more, or it has
And
more
it's
value.
not. Right, because we were having this discussion. He said because well, he described as a beautiful black woman. She spoke well, she was eloquent, and she was being undermined and degraded by other black women because she was white. So then why do you have to associate white with a woman being beautiful and intelligent and well put together? Why is that even a thing? And I know why that's a thing, but why? Why is that a thing? And why is there value in that? Why do you find it necessary to undermine your own people to for your own insecurities because society has deemed it so? And it's just a matter of changing that perception within society. And I think poetry is a big part of that.
Right, right. Poetry and live theater.
Right.
But I tell you, unfortunately, we have about 10 minutes left, and that's a problem we ain't going to solve in 10 minutes.
But it's a good starting ground.
It's a good starting ground.